Hi everyone, it's Lisa here. So as a request, or as I have promised as well, I'm going to show you how I made this Tennessee album. So it's super easy to put together. There's a couple things you're going to need. First of all, you're going to need a trimmer or an X-Acto knife where you can cut through chipboard. This is the Procision trimmer, and I actually broke this part of the safety guard off, but I'm still going to use it. So this I actually find works really well for chipboard, the thinner kind. I'm actually using I just got this from Uline. I think there was like a box of, I don't know, 500 pieces or something like that. So I don't know what the thickness is, but it's a lightweight cardstock. You're going to need 2 of those. You're also going to need some way to bind your book together. I'm using the Zutter Bind It All, and you'll also need some O wires for it as well. If you don't have a binding machine like this, you could also just use your hole puncher and some of those O binder rings, like just the binder rings itself. So it's possible, if you don't have some of these tools, just to adapt it to make it work for you. So, and then the other thing you're going to need is, of course, scrap paper. So I have a bin here, and when I make my books, I don't really look at the pattern. I just make it work. So we don't need this at this particular moment. Let's just move on to our book part. So you're going to cut this 6 by 8, I believe is what the size is. Let me grab this and we will just measure, but I do believe it's 6 by 8. Find a ruler here. Okay, so it is actually 6 3/4 is my outside. So even if you made it 7 inches, yeah, it's actually 7 inches by 9 inches. So this is 7 by 9. So I'm just gonna go up to here. There's the 9-inch mark, and here's the 7-inch mark. And again, do the same thing. Go up to the 9-inch mark. And I'll just flip it this way just because that one side got a little jammed up. And then there's 7 inches. All right, so I'm just gonna move this out of the way because I don't need it. We're gonna take, this is just scrap paper. Don't throw it away. You could definitely use it for something. So the next thing what I do is I find a piece of paper that is 7 by 9 and just use that as the cover. That's actually pretty fun. I like the cameras on the bottom. So there's that one. You're going to need 4 pieces because you're going to cover the inside and the outside. And I don't really care which way the lines go. So I'm actually going to find my paper, cut it to 7 by 9, and then we will glue that, and I will be right back. Okay, so I'm just going to glue down this last piece just to show you what I did. So I took a piece, like I'm just using my ATG gun. I'm literally gluing as close to the edge as I possibly can. And sometimes I overhang just a little bit, so I'm just going as close to the edge as possible. And then just doing a couple lines in the middle. I don't want to spend a lot of time doing it. Once you add all the bulk and weight to your book, it will definitely hold in place. So just glue that down. If you don't have ATG gun, you can use Glossy Accents. It's a really good holder. Just make sure you burnish all the glue so that it stays nice and flat. Or you could use red line tape, whatever tape you have. So this is going to be front and back. So I think I might use this for the front, and then this might be the back of the book. So this would be the inside. So that's what you have. So then the fun part about this book is doesn't matter how tall the sheets are as long as they're no taller than 9 inches, and it doesn't matter the width of them as long as it's no wider than 7 inches. So with that being said, I kind of like how I can just, you know, cut this, and I don't care if they're portrait, like if the pattern's portrait or landscape. I don't even care if there's a branding strip on there. It's just really fun to just kind of just go with the flow and yeah, just start cutting away. So you can see, like, if I pull these up, I wasn't concerned with the width, so you can see that they are definitely not the same width. And even if like the branding strip is showing, if you don't really like that, you could cut that off. I'll probably just put washi tape over this side and be done with it. So yeah, just keep doing that and I'll show you what I come up with. Oh, the other thing I was going to show you is if the pieces are not like the whole length, don't worry about that. Like, as long as they are shorter than the 9 inches, that's what I was trying to say. Like, this one is considerably shorter. So yeah, just use up your scraps and I'll show you what I have at the end. Okay, so I have all my pieces of paper cut, and actually what I did, I want to show you, is I had the pile all together, and I didn't really have no rhyme or reason to it. You can see I have some 4x6s. You can see, you know, there's all different sizes in here. So I'm just going to flip through. So what I tried to do is, if there was a polka dot, not to put another polka dot beside it, or if there was a chevron and a chevron, try not to put those together, and tried not to make the papers clash too much. So not that it really matters, but I just want to, you know, briefly show you as you flip through kind of the intent that I wanted to make the book look like. So you can see as you flip through, you're going to get tons of different sizes to play with, as well as the color combination. So you know, you have some more graphic prints in with some subtler prints or more solids, so, and a wide range of papers. So I actually had to go to some of my older paper and chop it up because I didn't have as many papers as I thought I did this particular size. So this is a good way to use up your old paper and use it in or put it into a usable format. So you can see again, there's lots of different sizing combinations. So you can see again, I tried to mix smaller in with bigger, skinnier in with taller, so that way you can see the pages as you flip through. And that makes it a very fun and very much a homemade feeling album. You can make it to whatever you prefer. So I really like the way that is. So even like a piece of vellum in here. So I like to add some acetate pieces as well as transparent pieces just to make them peek through the different layers. So the next thing I'm gonna show you how to do is how to use the Bind It All in order to bind your pieces. Now, I believe, just gotta pull my book out. I believe I used, there's different options on the side of this. If you can see, it's got cover, inner pages, or actually open, continuous, cover, and inner pages. So I believe I used the C to do my cover, and the inner pieces are going to be using C. If they are the actual 9 inches tall, I will use the C configuration. If they are the smaller pieces, I believe all I did was just put it up to the C and then just continue along until, you know, they were until it was all full. If you are very particular, you could just use the inner pages and just punch along until you have the whole length of your card, and then you can just put them in wherever. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to put this to the C. You can see there's the lines right there. Let me see if I can zoom on that. So I'm going to put it to the C, which lines up right here. So you can see right there, it's lined up. I have this little bracket out, and then there's this little spacer piece that fits down in here. This is the second version, and that's just going to give you the proper spacing so that it's a little easier to open. So then what we're going to do is I'm going to get my covers, and you want to make sure you have your covers the right way. So I want this to be my front and I want this to be my back. So if I was to put them together like this, this is the front and this is the back. So you just stick them in, and I am not on C, I'm actually on A. So I'm just going to flip it over to C. So it's actually this arrow that you need to line up right there. So I flipped it over to C, and then I'm just sticking it in here. It's going to make a funny noise. And you can see it's going to punch 6 holes. So then what you do is you change it to, it's, I believe, A, or no, B. It's B. And then what you do is you move it so that this little notch right here, if you can see that, this little notch will be in the 3rd hole. So that little notch is going to fit in that hole right there. So I'm going to put that just in like that and do the same thing. And then you're going to repeat the process all the way along. So I'm just going to, again, just kind of get that book cover into that notch. Just push it down. Work your arm muscles. And then this should be the last one. Just going to open it up so you can see. So there's the notches right there. So you can see if I put my rings on this side, open up like that, and it'll close like that. So perfect. So then what you're going to do is the same process for the pieces of paper. So I have it to C. I'm just going to grab a whole bunch of pieces of paper that are 9 inches. And then that way I can just do a whole bunch at the same time. Just going to show you. So again, we have it over to C. Go like that. Move it over to the 3rd hole. Make sure all your papers are in that hole. I don't think my papers are lined up. There we go. And then just continue along like that. So I'm going to do all my 9-inch pieces of paper. And then for the shorter ones, I'm going to show you how to do that. So then for these other pieces that are kind of not uniform, I just, again, for say like some of the bigger pieces that doesn't matter if they're centered or not, I'll just put them on the C. And again, just go along. And I can't really do too many all at once just because they're all different sizes. So, but you can see it just punches those holes. So then for say like this one that I kind of want a little bit more centered, I'm going to actually put it back to, I think it's D, the inner pages. So you stick it in there. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to move your notch over to, I think, this hole. I know it's kind of a little, actually it's this 2nd hole. And you're going to stick it in there, and it's just going to punch the 1 hole. And then you're going to want to do this hole. So this one's going to kind of be a little tricky. You're going to have to just kind of eyeball it, or if you just want to just leave it, you can probably do that too. I think it should be fine. So you can see it'll be like that. So it matches up, and I'm cool with that. So then this one is going to go lengthwise. This one's going to go lengthwise, and I think these are, some of these are not the right side, like right length. So I'm going to have to do them individually. So again, I'm just going to stick it over. I'm going to leave it on D actually. And then just keep moving along here. So I will finish punching all of the holes on these pages, and then I will come back. So the next thing you're going to need is these O wires if you're using the Bind It All. I'm using the 3/4 inch black ones. All I'm going to do, I'm not going to bind it like this right now. I just need to know how big I need them. So I'm just sticking them in the holes. So I need to cut it right there. You need pliers. Just trim right there. And then I'm going to take this out. And we're going to figure out how we are going to put this. So the trick with this book is when you put your pages together, you're going to need to flip the front to the back. So that's the trick. So, and then your pages will go in here. So then when you put your O-wires in, you put them in like that next. So here you go. Let's do this in slow-mo so you're aware. So here's my front and here's my back. So what you're going to do is put it like this so your wires are up on the top. Take your front, flip it to the back. Then you're going to take your O-wires and you're going to put the hook towards you. And then just slide them through. And then however you want your book, you're just going to put your paper in. And this is the back. So keep in mind that this is the back cover and you're just going to start putting the pages in from front to back. So it's going to be like that. So however you want to do it, and just stick your pages in. I'm just going to show you one of these shorter pages that I had punched so you can see it's just going to slide in just like that. So I'm going to continue to do the whole book and I will be right back. Okay, so you can see I have all my pages together. If you want to just maybe make sure that they're actually all attached, you can just flip through by holding the O-wire and then just flip through and you can see if that's exactly how you want your book. Wasn't the first way I actually put my book together, but it doesn't matter because it's a smash book. So then you want to make sure you set your path in here to the 3/4. I actually had a little gauge and I just made sure that it was set to 3/4. There is a line in here just to make sure. Then you want to make sure you take there's like this side that has the O's that's open and then this side that's closed. So you want to make sure you put it so that the O's are towards, like the open part is towards you, and put it flush down. And then what you're going to do is just gradually go across and just press it together. And then come back around and just give it one final good squeeze. Oops, and this one came out. I don't think this is set to 3/4. No, it is set to 1 inch. So I'm just going to squish that down again. Just make sure that you have it all crimped. So you should have all this. So it will, so you can see that it's all closed off here. So now if I find my 2 covers and I go like this, this is the complete book. So you can see the O-rings just get moved over slightly. Once you have more in your book, it will move a little bit better. But you can see this is what the book looks like. So you have a lot of interactive pages and elements. If you want to even add envelopes in here, you could definitely do that. If you wanted to punch some holes on the side of the envelope, you could do that, or at the top or at the bottom. So this is just a general flip through. You can see it's got some fun interactiveness to it. So small, medium, even like a Project Life card in there. So, and should be the last page. So yeah, so there you go. So there is your homemade smash book. Super easy, super fast. Let me know if you have any questions. I think I knocked this out within about 45 minutes. So you can make a whole bunch of these, and if you want to give them to your friends for like a journal book, you could do that too. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.